Welcome, one and all, to episode 222 of the China Show, the real China Show.
Shout out to the
OG.
222.
Yes.
Area code if you're from the 222. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool to say that, actually.
Yeah.
You know what you guys are probably doing right now? Probably watching the Olympics in the background.
Well, guess what? We've got our own version of the Olympics coming up.
It's better.
And we have some fantastic slopaganda today.
Yes.
And just the usual stuff. So welcome. Hope you guys are relaxing. It's Friday.
I do want to bring the mood down a little bit.
Okay.
Because we're going to start off with,
with something pretty
horrifying,
horrifying.
like the worst mental image you could ever implant in your head. We're going to start off with it, so then we can kind of do the fun stuff afterwards to like repair yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's jump right into it with what's new. Let's saunter right into it, rather, where we talk about everything that's new in China. Now, every year, China suffers from ridiculous floods.
Yes.
Okay? And this is a lot to do with very poor planning on the Chinese government's behalf. Because it happens every year, and they just never seem to prepare for it. They just kind of fix it, put a Band-Aid on it at the end of the year, and they're like, oh, well.
It also seems to be getting worse every year.
It is getting worse.
Like the flooding's getting worse.
It absolutely is getting worse. Yeah. Anyway, the fact is, throughout Chinese history, the idea of building dams and diverting rivers has always been a very important thing for the government to do, for the emperors to do. It gives them power over nature and power over the people. So, of course, the Communist Party really took this to heart, and they built a lot of dams. And they really didn't think it out. And they actually screwed up a lot of the river systems and screwed up a lot of the places where people live.
Yeah, so, you know, Chairman Mao, when he came up with all these dam ideas.
Like, just dam ideas.
Yeah. Put dams all over the country just to have man overcome nature.
Yeah.
That kind of government policy continued all the way through today.
Yes.
Like, that hasn't changed. And that's the problem when people are like, well, dictatorships get stuff done real fast.
Yeah, but they don't do it well.
They do it poorly, and there's no change, right?
Yeah.
It's the same government that was in place then with the stupid ideas that are making crap that falls apart now.
Yeah. And on top of that, as we've mentioned many times before, the drainage systems don't exist or are very lacking in all Chinese cities, except for Qingdao and I think it's Hangzhou.
Yeah.
They have one there. And that's basically because one of them is an ancient Chinese city where they knew how to build drainage. And the
Chinese
other one,
stuff used to be good.
Yeah. And Qingdao was built by the Germans, so it has good drainage. But every other city sucks when it rains.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's look at a couple of things here. Here we just have a random sinkhole appearing, as they do in China. I'll take that volume down. It's not important. But the whole point is, this is a brand new area and a brand new road. And you'll see, like, if they look down the road there, this is one of the many new projects that get built all over the place. They're about to break ground and build apartment buildings and whatever. But brand new construction, and you've already got a sinkhole. It shows you the lack of quality when it comes to these, construction projects they have all over China. Now, this is just almost poetry in a way.
It really is. I love that you can't see the bottom of the hole.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
Imagine you're driving in your Tesla, as this dude was, and a sinkhole appears, and your car gets stuck in a sinkhole.
It's like a cave.
What's even better...
Oh, I can see water now. Okay,
oh, you can see it now, yeah.
I can see it, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's lucky he didn't fall into it.
Yeah.
But the better thing is the communist hammer and sickle in the background on that propaganda.
Yeah, I love that.
Because it's like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
this is what you get. They're like, we are like all the core socialist values or whatever. Yeah. Right. If you have that communist stuff going on, this is what you get. Yeah. Sinkholes in the road.
Yes.
Right at an intersection. And a new building being built in the background.
Beautiful.
Yes. That's a China scene for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, now, let's get on to something a little more terrifying.
Yeah.
So this happened in Shanxi, and this happened on the 19th.
Yeah.
All right? What was happening was people were driving at night on this, by the way, newly constructed highway. Mm-hmm. It's very new. It's only a couple of years old. And they're driving at night, as you do, at 100 plus kilometers an hour.
Yikes.
You're driving along there, and, well, for the first 25 cars, they didn't see anything. But then some people...
Highway.
It's a highway. Some people obviously pulled over. But 25 cars, and probably more, they say 25 cars, went straight off of this highway.
Yeah, and they just
At like
China, the
100
Chinese
plus
government-
kilometers an hour.
Chinese government projects are so bad. That's terrifying.
I mean, also, look, there are no lights. You saw on the road, there are no street lights in that particular area.
No.
So it's dark. There's no warning. Nobody's telling you that there's a problem. Now, imagine you're just going on this highway at 100 plus kilometers an hour and the road disappears. Terrifying.
Why are there still people clamoring about like how amazing China's infrastructure is? It's so bad.
It's because they only ever see the propaganda and they don't really get to see the reality like this. So, 31 people are still missing.
Yeah.
This
is official data.
Yeah, and that's official data, so who knows how many really? Because,
I can read it.
Okay,
31,
what is it?
31 missing, 12 confirmed dead, 1 person survived, and at least 43 people died according to logic, basically.
Yeah, at least.
It was at least 25 vehicles that fell in, like you said.
At least.
So you're talking about, there's a lot of people gone, right?
Yes.
It's definitely being underreported.
Well, in China, from my own experiences, you very rarely get a situation where there's just one person in the car, especially if you're traveling a distance. You normally get a bunch of people in the car to go a distance. So if you've got 25 vehicles, you can at least times that by 2.
Yeah.
At least 50, right? And there was one survivor who got pulled out. He said that he had his family members in the car.
Yeah.
And they're just gone.
Yes.
Just like everyone else. Because one thing you have to understand is when you're traveling at highway speeds, like look at the remnants of cars. When you're traveling that fast and you suddenly go off a highway, the chances of survival are very slim anyway.
Yeah.
Even if you were to just crash normally, if you were to just go off the highway. But imagine falling down into a river,
Yes.
a raging river.
Yes.
So the concussion from the accident itself, if that doesn't kill you, the car, look at that car, okay? Look at this. This is a car, one of them from this accident.
Yeah.
I'll get us out of here so you can see it clearly. So if you don't die immediately from the actual force of the accident, you're going to be very disorientated. Say your airbags really saved your life or something. You're going to be disorientated and now in a raging river.
Yeah.
The chances of you getting out of your car are 0.
Yeah.
Absolutely 0. The guy who was rescued, apparently all the windows shattered in his car and he was kind of thrown out.
Yes.
So, we're talking about a horrific scenario over here.
I was just trying to figure this out. People were wondering how old the bridge was.
I think it's 6 years old.
It's something like that. It's years old. It's not dozens of years old.
No. I think it's about 6 years old from what I remember reading. But you can see it is a newly constructed highway. Look, you can see they're pulling a truck out of the water there. Whoever was in that truck, it's no
that
longer
was the
around.
survivor.
No, that wasn't.
That wasn't?
No, it was a passenger car and he had his family in it.
Oh, okay.
It's just horrific that this would happen. And you can just imagine yourself in the middle of the night. And also the power and the cell phone service and everything apparently was off and spotty and all that at the time. And there's another one of the cars. And you can just see the chances of surviving are 0. 25 vehicles gone. And, of course, all the people that are still missing are presumed dead because there's absolutely 0 chance.
Where did they go?
Down the river. Now, look, you can take a look over here if you look at this footage. One side of the highway remained up. The other side collapsed, which leads... Netizens are discussing this in China. And they're looking at this and saying, well, it's absolutely due to bad construction because the foundations obviously weren't good enough on the one side. They were good enough on the other side, but not on the one side. Huh. So, think about it. If it was just nature and the water was too bad or whatever, why would one side stay up and the other side not?
True.
Unless it was just poor quality construction, because a lot of shortcuts are taken in China.
Yeah.
Bad materials are used, specifications aren't followed, and they know, this is in a river part. This is probably supposed to be very, very reinforced and very deep, all that. And they just do whatever they do. And it happens a lot. And we talked about that Meizhou highway not that long ago where a similar thing happened, right?
Yeah.
So that's what people are saying, is that it's down to corruption and shortcuts as to why this happened. But
it's a horror movie. Look at this.
Yeah. China has been experiencing these ridiculous floods again. And I know people might feel fatigued because every year we show you what looks like the same footage.
Yeah.
Which is just a bunch of brown, muddy water absolutely destroying everything in its path. But this is new footage. Yeah. And this is what happens every year in China. Okay? And I wanted to show you, the reason I'm showing you all this extra flood footage is I wanted to show you all what China's propaganda response to all of this is, really. There's another different bridge that was just swept away, or a road, I should say. Again, the official numbers that get reported are always underreported. So you don't know how many people actually went missing. This is a completely different bridge that also collapsed. We've had multiple bridges collapsing around China during this time. And houses and entire villages being swept away, basically. Yeah,
we showed those villages going away.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time.
So it's intense. I mean, if you just look at this footage behind us, it's just really, really intense. And there's nothing you could do to stop it, you know?
No, other than, change your entire government's method of checks and making sure building materials are good and delete corruption and stop being a piece of garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that.
Yeah, other than that, yeah. Actually, for once, what they should is they should hold people accountable. Because there's always some oversight committee that's being bribed that, as to why this stuff happens. But they never seem to be held accountable.
That guy is...
He's such a Laoban, isn't he? He's got his Beijing bikini.
Yeah, great.
So again, just showing you some of the footage that has happened in recent weeks.
Just look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's just insane. Houses falling down, the works. Like I said, it doesn't get better. It gets worse every year.
It does. It really does.
So because of all this excess rain, a huge amount of rainfall and so on, the Three Gorges Dam, as we all know, China's most proud marvel,
modern marvel,
has had to open its sluice gates, to more than it usually has to, obviously, to take... to relieve some of the strain of all this heavy flooding and all this water, which of course has now resulted in everything downstream being flooded to all hell and gone like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you think the Chinese government's going to tell its shills to do during this time? Its propagandists to do when they have to release so much water from the Three Gorges Dam that it's biblical? What do you think they're going to do?
Well, because of the implications here, if the Three Gorges Dam were to fail, hundreds of millions of people would be affected, right?
Sure.
So I'm going to guess that they're going to say that everything is awesome and great, and everyone's having a great big old party.
Yeah, well, something similar to that. We'll show you in a second.
See how close I am.
Yeah, we will, because it's coming up. While all this horrific flooding and devastation is happening, downstream from the Three Gorges Dam, CCP shills are posting things like this. Let's see. Can we read this?
It's a bit cold. It's a bit cold inside the waterfall. To those wearing light tops. I can't read this, too small.
Yeah, you've got it on your computer, don't you?
I should be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up here.
Yeah, all right. I would like to read this. We'd like to read this tweet to you.
It's a bit cold inside the waterfall to those wearing light tops at the Three Gorges Grand Waterfall. You are having so much fun. In the Three Gorges Grand Waterfall scenic area, visitors are experiencing refreshing sensation brought by the waterfall. What is that, the sluice gates?
Yeah.
What is this tone-deaf nonsense? I hadn't read this yet.
Yeah.
The water is extremely chilly, especially underneath the falls where the temperature drops significantly, providing a cooling effect that also makes people feel cold.
Yep.
It's a cooling effect.
It's
it makes
very
you
cool.
feel cold.
Yes, more like a chill.
Many visitors are dressed in light tops, fully enjoying the thrill and fun the waterfall brings. Despite the cold, they remain enthusiastic and have a great time. This literally reads like North Korean propaganda.
Yep.
Like at the water park or whatever. The official team even took videos of the visitors playing under the waterfall, capturing moments of them shivering from the cold, making them unforgettable memories. Do you know why they do this?
Why?
They want to redirect any search traffic that's going to Three Gorges Dam stuff. They don't want to know about it potentially, failing. How much horrific it would be the end of China. If the Three Gorges Dam failed, it would be the end of the entire country.
Yeah, and I mean, like we've stated before, we don't think it will fail because it's so important to them. But it's all the destruction that's happening because they've had to open the sluice gates of the Three Gorges Dam to relieve pressure.
Yeah.
So they've released all this stuff, and it's going down.
It serves a couple purposes here, because you think about it, like people are like, I heard these sluice gates open. It's probably like a lot of water everywhere, and then all of a sudden on your feet, it's like, oh, actually, it's just Three Gorges Dam waterfall, and they're having fun. It's like a freaking wet T-shirt contest or something.
Exactly. Because they have these three gorgeous there's three gorgeous scenic spots, which are upriver from the Three Gorges Dam itself, like this place. And it's all about like deflecting. Remember, this is what happened years ago when we pointed out the shills and we blanked out everything about them. But they, like people that we knew, were going to this Three Gorges scenic spot at the same time that there were massive floods. Isn't it weird? Every single time there are massive floods that are really like wreaking havoc and displacing people and people dying, en masse downstream, they always show this like, oh, the Three Gorges scenic spot's so amazing. It's so cool.
We should coin a term. Maybe it's the wet T-shill contest.
Yeah, nice. Wet T-shills, yes. I love it. Wet T-shills. Anyway, so this is...
shill broth coming out.
Shill chugging on shill broth. Ugh. Anyway, so this is the Chinese response to all this devastating flood stuff related
Everyone
to
having fun in a Three Gorges waterfall.
And making amazing memories.
Yes.
This is obviously filmed at a completely different time, but this was released on the 25th.
Makes sense.
This tweet. So just a couple days ago, to kind of combat, I guess, the search terms about the devastation.
Yeah.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's take a quick look at this, shall we?
I didn't see the video yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like one of those tourist cave thingies. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. It's
As
like
we
under
know,
the waterfall.
news is censored in China.
Oh.
It's one of the most censored countries in the world.
Because of that, information from and about China is...
As we know, news is censored in China. It's one of the most censored countries in the world.
Because of that, information from and about China is hard to verify.
That's why we love Ground News, a sponsor of this video. Ground News helps take the guesswork out of reading the news.
Take, for example, this article on the flood. Rescuers search for dozens missing after flooding and a bridge collapse in China kill at least 25. Ground News aggregated 30 articles published on it.
According to these visual breakdowns, we can see coverage is coming from across the political spectrum and from sources rated highly credible, meaning their reporting tends to be less subjective. These ratings are a combination of 3 independent news monitoring organizations that analyze things like each publication's printed language.
Looking at these headlines is interesting. Sources from all over the world are covering it, and different sides of the political spectrum will actually name things differently or give different headlines, like, for example, bridge collapses in China killing 15 after flash floods.
Get global perspectives in one place. I appreciate that Ground News shows these sources as many platforms remove or censor these sources. This is especially important when it comes to news about China and Asian politics.
Ground News allows us to access additional content to help us think critically about and verify our information.
Check them out at ground.news/China show and use our link to save 40% on the same Vantage plan we use for unlimited access to all their features.
Thanks.
Okay, so now we got to move on to something even darker than driving down a highway at night and plunging into the water. So, something people might not realize, every time there's one of these floods, people's cars get destroyed, huge amounts.
Yeah.
You know, China's always touting like how they have the most EV sales or whatever. Right. It's probably because they have to be replaced every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone who owns a car has to replace it after these floods.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is the underground parking lots, because in China, the only place you can really park is under your building. Mm-hmm. Okay? You got these underground parking lots chock full of cars. And of course,
underground coffins.
Yes, pretty much. And what happens is when it rains, and it floods like this, of course, the underground parking lot fills up to the ceiling. And all the cars in there are destroyed. In fact, I once saved a friend of mine's car because he actually lent it to me for like a couple weeks. And while I was driving it, his underground parking lot filled up to, and every other car was destroyed. But because I was driving his car for a week, I saved it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, remember that little thing?
Yep.
Anyway, that was a fun little car.
Yeah.
As you can see here, this is just footage of a typical scene, right? They're pumping the water out of the underground parking lot, and of course, all the cars in there are screwed. And there's no way to get it out. When the flood starts, when the water starts coming, you cannot get in there to drive. Now,
this is a horror movie,
This is nightmare fuel, right? These rescuers are now busy going into the underground parking basically to...
Don't say carsophagus, guys.
Yeah,
Gets grim, all right?
Okay, now here's the thing. This is footage that was shown of these rescuers going into an underground parking lot, obviously just to pump out the water or something, not to rescue anyone, because I feel like that's not going to happen. But netizens were looking at this footage and they noticed something. If you look
so
closely,
keep in mind, this is supposed to be promoting like the rescue efforts, but the netizens were like, wait, what's that?
Yeah. And you might have noticed in our thumbnail, but if you look closely in this footage, and I've got pictures that'll come up in a minute.
Yeah, see if you can spot it first.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, okay, take a look at that ceiling over there. You can see where the water reached. So there's probably about this much space where the water didn't go to. There's a little bit of air.
It's rushing, by the way. It's sloshing around. It's not still, right?
Exactly. So basically, like it went all the way up to the ceiling and left about that much gap, right? That's all that was left. And if you look closely, you can actually see handprints, which is absolutely nightmare fuel. See up there? Of the poor people that were trapped in there and had just like a few inches of air to probably breathe for a few minutes.
Before.
Well, yeah. Obviously, they didn't rescue. There wasn't anyone to rescue. So it must have been just the most horrific thing to be trapped. And you can see the handprints, the muddy handprints of people obviously trying to escape. And that is probably the most terrifying scenario I can think of. One of.
Absolutely chilling.
Yeah.
Like, especially right there. Just leave it there for a sec. If you look at the ones, you can imagine the people like, you know, trying to struggle in the water like this.
Yeah.
But then the one on the top is like, they're already, you know.
Yeah.
You're able to touch the top. The water's already that high, so you're.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing this.
Yeah, no, it's awful. It's absolutely terrifying.
Unbelievable. It's a survival horror game.
It is a nightmare. Like I'm probably going to have trouble sleeping if I think about that.
I know, that's horrible.
Yeah. And that is...
well spotted from the netizens, though.
Yeah.
Netizens are Chinese internet citizens. They're called netizens.
Yeah, called netizens, yeah.
Just in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, so, you know, that is unfortunately what happens when these floods hit. Because if anyone was currently parking their car, if anyone went down to try and save their car, thought that, like, let me go down quickly and see if I can pull my car out of the garage, their fate was this, you know? Yeah.
I want people, before we move on, to understand how many of these parking garages there are.
Yeah.
Like, when this happens, these all go, even in the cities where I was living, where people had pretty good warning that this is about to happen, they fill up so fast.
Yeah.
You remember, like, the rain come down and be like, okay, everyone move your cars out, and then the parking lots get full, right?
Yeah.
But it can rush in there like it's almost like a floodgate.
Yeah, it's like a flash flood.
It's like then whoop, it pours down, and then you can't drive your car out of it because of the force of the water rushing down the ramp.
And you can see the shutters were closed here.
Yes, and the scariest thing is that I've seen people when they're like trying to get out, they can't even force their car up the rushing water.
Yes,
right, because it's too powerful.
And there's not enough traction. Yeah.
And then they can't walk through it.
No.
I'm talking about water up to your shins.
Yeah.
And people can't trudge through it when it's a torrent, right? And they get pushed down in there, and then
and it's slippery. The ground is slippery.
You end up like this.
Yep.
It's awful.
Awful. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. So yeah, that's it's not safe. Let's put it that way. All right, let's try to move on to something a little bit more fun, guys, because
I'm just reading some of the. You guys are even more clever than we are. Like noticing some details. For example, a few of the handprints, you can tell that the people got pulled off the wall by the water.
Yeah.
You know, just by if you do a little forensics. You know?
Sure. I released a video this morning about surviving growing up in South Africa, right? Doing very badly, by the way. If you haven't watched it, please go.
It's a good video.
Please
don't
go watch
say
it.
That. It's just not.
It's just doing terribly because I guess people don't care. But here's the thing.
It's a good video, though.
Thank you.
I'd watch it.
I appreciate it. Here's the fun thing about it, though, is it's got nothing to do with China.
No.
And yet I get comments like this.
Yeah.
Which is stop spreading falsehoods about China. Just like with the Middle East, any attempts to destroy it are futile and only exist in your dreams. But the kind of interesting thing is the quotation mark that they left in. Mm-hmm. Where's the first one?
Oh, this is, that's a pet peeve of mine. That's incorrect punctuation.
Well, you know what? Because
the whole thing's a quote.
That's because, they obviously copied and pasted it, but forgot to copy the first quotation mark.
It's like a quote.
It's like a quote, yeah. So here's the thing. When you see these accounts online attacking us and other people, they're just doing what they're told. They don't actually watch us. They don't know what we're talking about because
no, they didn't even. They have no clue.
No,
and this isn't someone just being passionate. This is a paid person.
They're paid to do this because why else would you go to a video about South Africa and say stop spreading falsehoods about China?
You should have seen. I got over 100 comments of claiming that I have never been to China on my one of my last videos. It's like, bro, that's literally my whole channel's me living in China.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't watch it.
Yeah, we got plenty of proof. Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd point that out. Now, here's something else that's kind of funny.
Let's lighten the mood.
We got to lighten the mood. That was pretty grim. In China's very good at copying things.
Yeah.
Very good at figuring out ways to counterfeit and trick people, right? Mm-hmm. It's just part of the way things work there. And they go to the extra mile. Now, for instance, this woman bought this iPhone 15. I'm going to just put that volume down. She bought this iPhone 15 for about 2,000 RMB on Taobao. Okay.
So about a third of the price.
Yeah, but it was running sluggish, so she took it to this repair shop.
Yeah.
So the guy opens it up, because look, it looks like an iPhone 15. It's like exactly like one, right?
Right.
He opens it up, and it's like some random cheap Android motherboard. Okay. But it's so well disguised as an iPhone that the operating system looks well, of course, the outlook looks the same.
Yeah.
Right? They probably used refurbished iPhone cases or something.
Oh, I see.
But take a look. The operating system looks exactly the same. And it's so good that it even tells you, like, see, it goes into the general settings here and stuff. It even got a serial number, the correct model number, the correct software, number, everything. So it looks like it's an iPhone. Like, really.
What a clone.
Yeah. But, I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference at a glance.
No.
Only if you used it and it was sluggish, right?
Yeah, if you're like, oh, that scroll's weird.
Yeah. But isn't that insane how good it is? This has just kind of gone a little bit viral as well. What we have here is we have Cosplayer. Uh-huh. Now, there's a big cosplaying event. You can see in the background someone dressed as a thing. What would you say that is?
I have no idea.
Yeah. If you keep an eye on the background, lots of fantasy characters.
Okay.
And, cosplay is something that came from Japan.
Yes.
All right? That's why it's called cosplay and not like dress up or something.
Sure.
It would sound a bit more lame if it was just called dress up, wouldn't it?
It's really what it is, though, isn't
it?
Yeah.
You're playing with costumes is what you're doing, right?
Just playing with them. You're not putting them on.
No, you're playing with them. Let's play with this costume. Yeah, exactly. So now the whole point of cosplay is usually to dress up as your favorite animated character.
Yes.
Okay? Whether it be from Japanese animation or Disney or anything, really. Yeah. And that's what cosplay events are all about. But this stupid uncle security guard working at this cosplay event refused to let this woman enter and told her to leave because she was wearing a Japanese kimono.
Yikes.
Which is ridiculous because the entire cosplay thing is based on Japanese animation, right?
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of Japanese animation stuff in there.
So you would expect somebody to wear a Japanese kimono because that happens in Japanese animation all the time. Mm-hmm. Every single Japanese animation has like an episode or two where they go to the summer festival or something, Yeah. And catch goldfish or whatever. And look in the background, you've got the usual suspects, the usual cosplaying stuff going on in the background. But
colored hairs and things.
Yeah.
I don't know much about cosplay, but I can tell you that this is xenophobic.
Yes, and what's happening here is racism and xenophobia. He will not allow her to stay because she wore a Japanese kimono.
Nice.
And actually escorts her out, gets another security guard to help. The stupid thing is if you look in the background, you see other traditional Japanese outfits.
Yeah, but this, Uncle Bao-an doesn't know.
He doesn't know that he thinks they're Chinese or something.
Yeah, something like
that.
But
he knows that a kimono is bad.
Yes. So, and I tell you what, that really tracks what I saw in Douyin when I made my Japan hatred video.
Yeah.
A lot of the skits that they were doing about their anti-Japan stuff was like, I think Japanese kimonos are pretty. And then the people would be like, how dare you say Japanese It was always about kimonos. Yes. So that's what's going on Douyin.
That's all that he knows.
Yeah. That's all that
he knows. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, no, unfortunately not. But the worst thing is the online comments on the video of everybody supporting the security guard and saying how great he is and for doing this. But
Of course, by the way, there's also pushback telling PME is a scumbag.
Yeah,
right?
true. But
there's also a lot of support.
The fact that there's so much support.
Yeah.
So imagine you are going to a cosplay event, which is
Yes.
based on like Japanese animation, and you decide to wear a kimono, which is in line with what the cosplay event's all about.
Yeah,
and you
probably
arrive
that
there.
character she was dressing up
And
as.
you arrive there, and a stupid, like, xenophobic, racist uncle tells you have to leave because you're wearing that, and forces you out and gets other security involved. And then everybody that you see online is like, yes, good job, uncle, screw this person and all that. Like, what kind of a nonsense society is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, just thought I'd point that out. Now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Slupaganda. Let's get this volume up because today
I've been going deep on some of these sources, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Where the CCP is posting propaganda. I just want to preface this by saying we found some stuff that they want out there, but gets no traction.
Nobody
at all. I guess
watches
they didn't buy the subscribers yet.
Yes. Like this had 2 views?
It said 2, and the other thing I found had 0.
0, excellent.
This is good.
So, okay, let's start this out.
Cut stuff.
What do you think would be a very fascinating thing for propaganda purposes?
These days, probably some sort of expo that shows China's economic prowess.
Okay.
Yes.
So, without further ado, this week's Slupaganda. Here it comes.
When I was just a little corn,
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
just a little corn, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be
Sweet corn, crunchy corn, glutinous corn, and now we even have fruit corn.
Gentlemen, behold! Corn!
Have you ever wondered why these corns taste the way they are? And today we're going to travel back through time to see how corns have become the way they are. Right here at the first supply chain expo.
Oh, well, hey, you know, this is pretty nice. Yeah, and I am kind of hungry.
Through modern transportation methods, especially cold chain logistics, like this container I'm currently trapped in, we now have access to corns and many other agricultural products, as much fresh as possible. Let's get out of here. You're not gonna believe this. They have a whole pallet of corn seeds here.
Gentlemen, I bring you more corn!
One cruel fact I've learned today is that 90% of the corns from the farm are not meant for human consumption. Crunchy and sweet.
What was that?
This is literally a dude walking around with an ear of corn in front of the camera talking about corns. Corns.
Can you go back to the beginning?
Yeah, I could go back to the beginning, of course.
I don't
I
have to
can.
replay. I just want to point out some things.
Sure.
I want to point out some features of this. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Somebody said, I know, I have an idea.
Yeah, wait for the
What a
song.
wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
just a little corn?
Oh, no, it's just a
Somebody
little
said,
corn.
let's take Que Sera Sera.
Yes.
And I know that we have to do this state-mandated propaganda about a corn expo, food production expo. I think these work perfectly together. What if we just change the words a little bit?
Yes.
When I was a little corn.
Yes.
That'll track with the audience.
Yeah.
That'll get us the 2 views that we're looking for.
Because the little corn asked its mother, what will they be?
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
It's ridiculous.
Scroll through it a little bit. I just wanted to
Okay.
point out some of my key features of this.
Okay, sure.
I know this is pornographic, and especially with these horrific memes you put in here.
Well, if
they're
anyone
only
knows, they
horrific,
know.
Some people in the chat knew.
Oh, they did?
Yes, and they're
If you-
very disturbed.
If you know, you know. It's just I couldn't.
I know, I
when
think
I
it's-
saw this, I was like, Gentlemen, I give you corn. Because what else?
If you know the anime, you're going to be very upset.
But I mean, here's the thing. Corn, sweet corn, crunchy corn, glutinous corn.
And now we even have fruit corn.
Can someone tell me what is fruit corn? Because we looked this up.
Yeah.
We were like, we think that maybe they genetically modified some corn. We looked it up, and apparently all we could find was corn is technically considered a fruit because of the way it is, right?
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as fruit corn.
Maybe there is.
I think they Googled it and said, oh, it's fruit corn.
Yeah,
You know?
I think so. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that. But imagine making a thing about corn. And then he's like, let's see, what is he going to do?
It's the way they are. And today we're going to travel back through time to see how corns have become the way they are. Right here at the first supply chain expo.
Yeah, like how it keeps playing.
Yeah, it's the que sera sera the whole way through.
You know, this is pretty nice. Yeah, and I am kind of hungry.
Look at him walking around with a corn.
He's like in front of like industrial equipment.
The life of a corn.
Corn. Bro, you're carrying a corn around.
I'm carrying a corn.
Not an ear of corn. It's
Yeah,
a corn.
I'm not a cob of corn. It's just a corn.
He should have a kernel then.
Yeah, it should be the life of corn, not life of
I know,
a corn.
I'm trying to think of how I could make this
And
work.
also he says corns a lot, which is
it doesn't work.
it doesn't work very well. I think it's kind of fascinating that they thought this was a good idea.
I love it so much, and I like that we've given it more traction than it ever would have had. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Through modern
CGTN.
transportation methods, especially cold chain logistics, like this container I'm currently trapped in.
Like this
Who wrote
container
this
I'm
script?
currently trapped in.
I'm in cold storage, and
Yes.
I'm trapped.
Yes.
That's not a positive thing.
No, he's trapped
We're
in.
worried about you, dude, especially after watching handprints.
Yeah,
This is not good.
Yeah.
We now have access to corns and many other agricultural products, as much fresh as possible.
As much fresh as possible. It's a very good line.
I feel bad because someone wrote this script for sure, and he's got to read it verbatim. His English sounds like it's fine, but
his English sounds
they
good.
screwed him over.
I think it's him singing the song.
Yeah, no, it's
Pretty sure it's him, yeah. No, his English is great.
I've been singing Case Corn Sera
Just a little
Sera
corn, yeah.
in my head for days now.
What? Yeah. What would you have sung better to like do the corn thing?
There's
Would you
gotta
have
be
gotten an actual corn song?
No, absolutely not. You could
With
if
K?
If
Corn
you
with a K?
had to do this, you know what I would do?
What?
If you had to do this,
Yes.
I'd go around to each person's different varieties and taste them and be like, that one's this one's terrible. Oh, that one's really good. People might watch that.
No, I'm talking about the song. What song
I
would you have
wouldn't
chosen?
have a song. I don't think there's any song about corn.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh, corn, just a little bit. I don't know.
oh, that's terrible.
A little yellow corn. I don't know what you do. You know
Yeah,
what
I don't know either. Yeah, there's got to be something you could do with it.
Corn bop. Chicka, corn.
Maybe it could do like a Children of the Corn thing,
popcorn,
like One of Us or whatever.
That's not a song.
No, I know, but you could have that in the
Why
background.
do you keep thinking of horror movies?
Yeah, I
these
have no
days?
idea. I'm not a horror
there
movie
needs
guy.
to be, I'm not moving on until we find a corn song.
Okay,
Oh,
what?
we play corn.
Yeah, that's
Are
what
we
I said.
Stupid.
That's what I
With a
said. Would you
K?
choose a corn song?
It's got to be
Yeah.
a corn song. I didn't
Yeah.
know you meant K corn.
Yeah, corn with a K.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a great
Yeah, you could
one.
play a corn song that would probably go along with it.
Yeah. what
I
is
don't
that?
even know what a corn song is
Freak
anymore.
on a Leash would be like corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Something takes upon me. That one.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Corn on the cob,
Feeling
dude.
like a corn on the cob.
Let's move on.
Come on.
He's not happy about that.
I would not either.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel bad for the guy trapped in a freaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Cold
I love that they
storage.
have different kinds of corn basically in glass enclosures here.
Yeah.
This is one of the most boring events you could ever go to.
I don't think, you know what's crazy? Can you pause it?
Yeah.
I once talked to a guy
Yeah.
who his whole job was like cabbage. It was like different cabbages. Like and he would-
Wow.
yeah, I mean he's a farmer,
Yeah,
right? But
sure.
like he developed different strains of cabbage. If you
Sure,
call it
sure.
strains, I guess it's not weed.
No, no.
But whatever, like varietals.
Yeah,
varietals.
varieties. Yeah.
Different varietals of cabbage, and I listened to him talk, and you would think it's the most boring thing in the world, and yes, it was. But for some reason, I was very interested because you don't hear about that.
No, sure.
It's not something you think about. So I
Yeah.
think this could be marginally interesting if you're not trying to make it a freaking music video for K Sera Sera trapped in cold storage.
Exactly,
Walking
yeah.
around trying to add something that doesn't make sense to it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I do like the fact that at the end he gets stuck in and really slurps on that corn.
Yeah, at least he got to eat some.
Yes,
Imagine you go
exactly.
to that, you don't even get an ear of corn.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe it's the one he was holding.
Yes, it is.
He finally gets to
It
eat
is. It's the one that he's holding the whole time that he finally eats. I kind of hope it was cooked.
It's cooked. It looks cooked.
Probably
that looks
cooked.
yeah.
All right, good. Because that'd be kind of gross if it wasn't.
You ever had raw corn? It's not that bad. Used to grab it in the cornfields nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stealing people's corn.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you're a kid, you know.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Old Farmer McGregor's corn, you know, just like, I'll steal that. He sucks anyway.
We would buy him too, like
Yeah.
when they would put him out. So it's
Sure.
like, you know.
You kind of make back for
Mistake,
your for your little rat theft.
I wouldn't do it now.
Like a little
I was
rat
like a little
sneaking in there and
kid.
stealing stuff. Yeah, I get
think
it.
I did it once.
No, sure.
And it was
I'm,
one ear.
I'm just taking the Mickey. Anyway, so kind of gross. Let's move on.
Crunching and sweet.
Crunching and sweet.
I like the guy. I think he's probably got a good personality.
Yes. And
when
you know
he's
what
not
else is
trapped
really
in
good
cold storage.
is AG1.
AG1,
Yeah,
yes.
which probably tastes much better than raw corn.
That's absolutely true. AG1 is a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting in your body, just like we do. We love AG1, the sponsor of this video.
Yep.
AG1 is something that you can put in a cup in seconds. Ding, ding, ding. You got all your vitamins, minerals, and supplements for the day.
Correct.
Everything that you need to support your gut health, everything else that makes you feel better. It made us feel better, give us our energy back when we're feeling lackluster.
Oh, yeah.
Especially that midday slump, pretty much went away when we started drinking AG1.
Correct, yep.
Absolutely fantastic. AG1 is constantly putting their formula to the test and is backed by multiple research studies. AG1 is trusted by experts and medical professionals, giving you one less thing to research. Nutrition starts in the gut. I know my body, and if my gut isn't functioning optimally,
Yes.
it'll be more challenging to absorb nutrients from my healthy diet. With AG1, I'm prioritizing gut support. In a recent research study, AG1 doubled the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, including 2 species known for supporting gut and whole body health. If there's one product I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1. And that's why we've partnered with them for so long. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Absolutely. And thank you again to AG1, and it's time to continue with the show. So, since the Olympics is going on and pretty much everyone is watching it, right? We
Yes.
thought that we'd come to combat it. But before we do our special AD...
Not combat it.
It's not combat, it's
to
improve on it.
I think it's to give an alternative.
To improve on it.
alternative events.
Yes.
I like, you know what? The underdog events.
Yes, the China show, yeah.
But I wanted to share some good news. You know, people keep asking for good news.
Sure.
I want some good news.
Yeah, let's have some good news.
Can you read the headline?
Chinese man relieved to find an actual reason behind 2-year cough after cancer scare.
Okay, so
Yes.
kind of gives it away with the picture. But this guy, I'll just tell you what happened.
Yeah.
This guy has this cough,
Yes.
and it's horrible for like 2 years. Imagine having a cough for 2 years and you can't figure it out. right?
I've had a cough once for a couple of months. It was
Yeah, it's probably
terrible.
whooping cough
Yeah, it
or
was a
something,
viral
right?
whooping cough
Yeah.
or something. Ugh.
So this guy's got a 2-year cough, right? It's like a 5-year plan, but a 2-year cough.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's suffering, and he is just at wit's end. He's like, fine, I'm going to go frickin' check this out, right?
Yeah.
The doctors are testing. They can't figure anything
I
out.
think it's cancer.
But then they find something on a CT scan. So like, oh, that looks like cancerous growth. And he's like, oh, now I know I frickin' have
A cough.
cough. I'm going to die of cancer.
Sure.
Right? So he's losing it. He's like, ah, crap, what do I do? So they go to operate on this to actually like get like some sort of maybe
get a biopsy,
or
yeah.
whatever. And they find out it's a freaking chili pepper
it's a chili
from
pepper
a hot pot.
in his lung.
He went when he was eating hot pot a couple years prior. He
Yeah.
sucked it in, choked
How do you
on it.
suck a chili into your lungs?
I've sucked food into my lungs.
Really?
Yeah, like grains
what?
of rice when you're like, at the end of the bowl.
Right.
When you're finishing the
And
bowl.
then what happens?
You cough it out.
Oh, you
Goes through
coughed
your
it
nose
up?
Sometimes,
Okay,
you know.
all right. I don't think I've ever put food in my lungs before.
I have many times.
It was like liquid, you know, when you swallow down the wrong pipe or whatever.
But it's like, think about it. He's finished. You know what he probably did what I do. You're really inhaling the
Doing
last bits of rice
Mm-hmm.
just at the end of the bowl.
Yeah.
And there's probably a chili pepper in there from the hot pot. Right down, sucked it right down the pipe, right? And you imagine you have a chili pepper in your lung for 2 years.
That's bad.
Yo, but
No
he got
wonder
it
he's
out.
coughing because his body's trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, so what happened was, while the chili pepper was in there, it enveloped it, and it created like a pretty minor infection the whole time, which was, he had an infectious disease the whole time for 2 years.
Terrible. Yeah.
That's sad, but he got it out.
Yeah, imagine the relief.
It's got to feel incredible.
He's going out and he's like, but then he's in Beijing and he's like, from the smog. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. So what do we got next here? Oh yes, the Olympics. Everybody.
The Olympics. You're watching this, but why not watch the China Show Olympics?
Yes. Oh yeah, what's
the coverage
this?
is going to be hot.
It's gonna be hot, just like this AC.
Hot. We have hottest coverage coming from China. Actually, China's performance abroad as well. In
Yes.
some of these events.
So we're starting out with the basketball competition, right?
Yes.
And this is Taiwan versus China.
Let's have a look.
Okay, let's watch.
We have the hottest coverage.
Where you from? What part of China are you from? Shanghai. Okay, you're from Shanghai. Have you ever heard of a country named called Taiwan? Yeah. You know China and Taiwan got smoke. Yeah. Listen, the only way y'all settle this is China versus Taiwan. Basketball 1v1.
I love
So
it.
yeah,
Love it.
China versus Taiwan basketball 1v1.
Just street ball, right? This is not organized.
Yeah.
It's two dudes duking it out.
This is the only way to like sort this out,
yes.
right? Okay.
I prefer this coverage over the Olympics,
Yeah, me too.
personally.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Hey, Ray got it. 操你妈！操你妈！
You speak Chinese, bro?
No, you talking? Look. 操你妈！
赶紧去搞笑！
Oh yeah.
Do you think, Keon?
Oh my God. Hey. Let's go, Ray.
Before it even continues, I got to tell you, I grew up with some Taiwanese friends, and they love basketball.
So do Chinese people.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's
I mean,
insane.
everywhere you go, they're playing.
Yes.
But I don't know, like the Taiwanese friends I had,
They
were
love.
just,
They
just-
freaking love
They
basketball.
super love basketball.
But so do
Yeah,
Chinese.
you're right. So do.
It's really
You're
much.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Let's see what's going to happen
But
here.
anyway, the blonde guy's the Chinese guy, and then the bandana guy on the bottom. If you're looking at the bottom left for
Yeah,
the
that's-
scores, he's the Taiwanese
He's a
guy.
Taiwanese guy.
Let's go, Ray. Oh. Nah, this nigga getting cocky, bro. This is like cocky. Oh! Yes! Here we go. Bag work.
Oh, they're tied, eh?
Yeah,
Whoa, it's all tied up, guys.
yeah.
The China Show Olympics.
Correct.
Oh, Taiwanese guy pulls ahead.
Wink. He said, give me that.
I love this streak.
Yeah.
Taiwanese guy 8, Chinese guy 5. 10 to 5. Whoa, not looking good.
No.
Come on, game point. Game point. It's all you got. Everything. T1, nigga. Game point. T1. For T1. Come on, Ray. T1. Oh, for T1.
Whoa, smooth move.
Wow, what a move. 11 to 5.
Yeah.
I commend both hey, stop.
Nothing
Blanked that out.
going on.
We
there.
didn't- that's what the guy said.
Yeah,
Taiwanese guy said.
exactly. So Taiwan number 1, I guess.
Taiwan number 1, but I commend both athletes in this year's China Olympics.
Yes.
I'm sorry, China Show Olympics.
Yes.
We're gonna have to be moving on to the second event, which is
Yeah.
I think a very underrepresented event in Olympic history.
Sure. By the way, that was 11 to 5.
Yeah.
That's more than double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what deserves more respect than basketball? Because basketball gets so much coverage.
Yeah.
The World Youth
Choir competition, again.
which they called the World Youth Choir Games.
Yeah.
So you have
What
choir.
games? Did they play like row, row, row your boat where you have to like, that's kind of a game where one has to sing, you know what I mean? And then the other maybe they had tongue twisters or something.
This is a real thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a choir competition. It's for the youth.
Yes.
And it's globally recognized.
Yeah, 'cause it's global.
This
The
year
world.
was held in New Zealand. We'll tell you the winners afterwards. We want to show you the event that involved Taiwan versus China. And this is when Taiwan came out to either perform or accept something.
Yeah, well, Taiwan won.
No, they did not.
Well, yeah, they did.
No, they did not. America won.
Okay, no, but what I'm saying is Taiwan won this specific
Whatever.
thing.
They got
this
some
like
sort of
leg.
award.
Yeah, let's take a look.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
Saying "Buyao Taidu," which means Taiwan independence. So basically, Taiwanese are out on stage.
They're
and Chinese
accepting their
people are
prize.
the Chinese team or whatever is heckling.
They're basically trying to claim the win.
Yes.
Because the Taiwanese people won this leg or whatever. See, they're getting their award.
Yeah.
So the Chinese people in the audience are trying to claim the win for China, even though Taiwan's a different country.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of pathetic that way. And you hear what they're saying. Like, what else? See, China Taipei. That's kind of what they try to say when they try to claim
Chinese
Taipei.
Taipei is what
Yeah,
they call it.
Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. So Chinese Taipei. It's kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Who do you think won?
America won.
Well, I mean, in this particular instance,
I guess Taiwan.
Taiwan. Absolutely, they just received their award or whatever.
We don't know what place they're getting. We have no idea
Yeah,
how this
well-
competition works.
Well, I mean, you know,
Maybe
like-
they got last place, dude.
But they got something.
They got something.
And then China tried to claim it.
Yes. Let's just see how they finish off this.
Yeah,
this thing.
let's take a look.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
Yes.
All right, some interesting news. This was in Japan. Mm-hmm. And so there were Chinese students trying to take this language exam in Japan to get certified as a Japanese speaker.
Yeah, it's kind of like what is it? Hanyu Shuiping culture?
Yeah.
The culture.
HSK.
HSK. You get different levels, and same with Japanese proficiency.
Yes, it says, in order to get extra points for highly talented people to get the Japanese N2, which is the exam. Now the Chinese have completely conquered the Japanese language proficiency test and passed it with absolute high scores. Japanese reporters made an unannounced investigation and found out the secret was in the eraser. Check this out.
Yeah.
At first glance, it looks like an ordinary eraser, but it's actually embedded inside. If you buy an Apple Watch, the professionals will send the answers directly through the watch, push the button, and the answers will disappear. The fee for restoring the eraser pattern is 300,000 yen, so it's maybe like $300 before and after the test, and then an additional 50,000, so like $50 for N1. So it's cheaper to get the first exam done, obviously. But they basically take an Apple Watch and embed it into an eraser, and then make the
wallpaper look like the eraser, so it looks like an eraser.
It's pretty epic.
It's kind of clever. It's kind of.
I'm gonna have to give this. It's when you're outsmarting the exam. This is pretty intelligent.
Yeah, exactly. So they send the answers obviously through the Apple Watch.
Yes.
To you.
Yes.
You might be surprised, but they're very sophisticated at cheating in China.
Yeah.
And specifically because they've got that Gaokao, which is this incredibly stressful exam to get a placement in university in China.
Yeah.
And they bust them all the time, where they've got weird little things, like there'll be a van parked outside transmitting the answers to like hidden earpieces, or they'll have like something in their glasses or whatever. There's all these different ways you get people to take the exam for you, someone who looks like you and pretends to be you. There's all sorts of things that have happened.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I got the money wrong.
Oh, you got the money wrong?
It's about 2,000.
It's about 2,000 US dollars.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's expensive. Anyway, so that was kind of funny. Now, you talk about this, please.
So this, I believe, had 0 views.
Okay,
or
which is what it deserves.
Well, here's the deal. I found that some of the state media channels, the ones that we usually cover, they have like other channels. For example, this is CGTN Radio, which does not have a Chinese state-sponsored label on YouTube. YouTube, what are you doing?
Yes.
That's unfair. This is a state-sponsored channel. Why are you not putting the label on it?
Yes.
Please put the label on it.
Put the label.
Not that it matters because no one's watching it.
Not this one, because I haven't paid for it yet.
Yeah, or whatever they do.
You know what it's bugging me? This is CGTN Radio, right? This is state media. This is top of the pops. Look at their stupid sound deadening in the background.
What about
You've got little covers over where the screws are supposed to go.
Yeah.
Look up there. It's missing one there. It's missing one there.
yeah.
But then down here is not missing. It shows you how like shoddy they are. They can't even get their stupid studio right. Like seriously, you're an entire government budget and you're missing those screws. You couldn't even assemble it properly.
That's what you noticed.
The hell's wrong with you?
The hell with you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
this professor.
To hell with you.
No slight against her. She's a professor, but she had to do some sort of segment about AI.
Yes.
And I sifted through this for
Yeah.
you. Even though I had no views, because I was just curious. And the takeaway is fascinating to me, because this is something that you as an audience are supposed to find impressive, but I think this has the very opposite effect of what the Chinese government's trying to do.
Yes.
Let's listen.
Okay, so let me get us out of here so people can actually see it. But before that, I just had to do this.
Hong, hong, hong. To hell with you.
You know, because to hell with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not her, the show.
Sorry, to hell with whoever put together their studio.
Yes.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I interview some of my foreign friends who visit China many times. I asked them the question that, what is the most impressive AI technology or application that you ever seen or experienced in China?
Just thought I'd throw that in there quickly.
Actually, we can answer her question.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
probably
it's probably this.
That is Sarah AI.
So, by the way, foreign friends doesn't mean actual foreign friends.
it just
Foreign
means
friends
foreigners.
just means foreigners, you know?
Yeah, non-Chinese.
Yeah, and it's like that. When we went to the hotel and they said foreigners can't stay here, they're like, sorry, but foreign friends aren't allowed to stay here.
外国朋友.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's continue. What was the most impressive?
No. And they voted. And you know what is number one? The number one is vending machines. Right, everywhere. Downstairs, by the streets, everywhere. Because they were so impressed, because they saw when I took nothing with me. I took nothing with me. No cash, no coins, no ID card, even no cell phone, no barcodes, just with myself. It scans my face and recognizes me and give me the water I chose, give me the snack I want to eat. Just in a few seconds. They were so convenient.
I want you to just think about the implications here. For a Chinese propaganda department, they would look at something like this and be like, yeah, people are going to be really impressed by this.
Yeah.
Bro, that's dystopian. That's the nightmare of Americans.
Yeah.
They hate that.
Can I also just say something? That is not AI. That is just facial recognition.
Yeah, facial recognition.
That's got nothing to do with AI. I like how they're trying to say it's
there's
AI.
There's overlap now.
Yeah.
5G AI is not a joke. When we play
it's
the soundbite,
the stupid thing.
It's the same thing in China. Like, it just means tech.
Yeah.
Tech means AI now. It's like a buzzword.
You literally have a database with people's facial features built into it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's tied to your bank and everything you do.
I'm just thinking about the potentials to troll people, right? Yeah. Imagine someone's just walking past and they look at the vending machine. You're standing there and you quickly press a button.
Yeah.
You're like, I want a Coke. Like someone looks and Coke, dude, okay, scanned, all right, run off.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
But just the implication that every vending machine can facially recognize you makes you realize that every lamppost that's got a camera on it, because in China, everywhere there are cameras, can facially recognize you, know exactly where you are. You know, it's tied to your bank account. Think about it. If they see you, I don't know, jaywalking or something, they could minus money out of your bank account without you knowing.
It's horrifying.
Dude, I think to most people, that's like a dystopian nightmare.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's absolutely not cool.
No,
Why would people think
this
that's cool?
backfires. This is
It's
so
not
bad.
cool.
It's so bad.
It's not even AI.
No.
Like, what is it? Artificially intelligent thinking that you might look like this or something? There is no artificial intelligence involved. It's just a database of your facial biometrics, basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like a fingerprint scanner or anything like that. It's just biometrics. So, yes, I don't know. Maybe we should ask our audience, do they think this is impressive? Let's have a poll.
Impressive or scary?
Yes, impressive or scary that a vending machine and every other thing can just scan your face and minus money out of your bank account.
Impressive or scary?
Yeah.
Vote now. It's anonymous.
Yes. Please vote. We'd like to know what you guys think, because according to her, her foreign friends were all very impressed by that.
Yes. Apparently. I mean, impress doesn't necessarily have to be a positive.
No, but they're saying
Yeah,
it as
I
a
know,
positive
I know,
thing,
I know.
right? So yeah, go
Vote
downstairs.
Now. We'll read what you guys think, and then China, you can kind of learn from this because
Yes.
our audience is like 40% American, 30% European,
We got
Australian,
from everywhere.
but then a lot of smattering of other countries. It's a very global audience. Is
Yeah,
my point.
yeah.
People from all walks of life, all colors of skin. Everyone is from everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And this will be a good representation if you think this is good PR or not. I can promise you our sample size of about 1,000. Better polling than you do because you can't even poll in China,
Not allowed
by
to
the
poll,
way.
and nobody would answer anyway, honestly, because they'd be too scared.
Repercussions. We have an honest poll here. We can help you out. Let's see if this is good, China.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good to have a facial recognition technology built into vending machines that not only scan your bank account to get your money out of it, but have implications of the entire over the entire country with cameras on speed cameras, with
Also-
cameras on light poles, the cameras here and there? What?
Now they know exactly
And
where
they
you
know
are.
where you are, triangulate your position.
Exactly.
wherever
Oh,
you do everything.
they bought a water over here at this time exactly, and then follow you to the next place.
And remember, this is tied into the workout that what they're currently trying to unroll or unveil with the social credit technology system.
Yeah.
Right. It's not good. It's not.
No,
good.
it's not. So what is our result?
I'm just waiting for 1,000 votes. We're almost there.
Okay.
You guys vote. Is it impressive?
It's an anonymous vote, so
yeah.
please.
Unlike this facial recognition.
Yes, yeah,
technology.
exactly. It's anonymous. Like, not the facial recognition is. What's the opposite of anonymous anyway?
It's. Yeah. What's the difference of anonymous?
Yeah, what's the opposite of anonymous?
Anonymous is like
Public,
public.
probably. Yeah, it's public.
Public.
Yeah,
This
so
is not public.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
exactly.
vote anonymously, unlike
yeah.
yeah, whatever they're talking about here. Well, we're coming down the end here.
Okay.
We're pulling into the finish line. We're crossing the finish line, and in 3, we did it.
Okay. What is it?
In our audience, over 1,000 of you polled within a minute,
Yeah.
and 91% of you think that it is scary, not
Yeah.
impressive. 8% of you thought it was impressive.
And I agree with that. You know, when you live in China, you kind of forget about privacy. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Everybody uses WeChat because it's so convenient, and it asks you. Well, it demands access to your camera, your location,
Everything, yeah.
your microphone, your bank account, everything. And because you kind of end up using it to buy things, and you
In
use
China,
it to, like, I don't get your tickets and pay for
Yeah.
your gas and electric bills and everything, you tend
It's one
to...
singular.
Yeah, exactly.
place.
You tend to kind of throw privacy out the window because of convenience.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, you have to actually at the end of the day. But it's scary when you think about it, because every single thing about your movements, where you go, your GPS data, and they can listen in on your microphone, they can turn on your camera if they need to. Like, everything is tracked.
Yeah.
People
So
are so used to it.
Yeah. So again, I think it's the thing I wanted to take away from this is not how dystopian the technology in China is.
Yeah.
I want you to take away with how tone deaf the propaganda department thinks you are in China, because they legitimately, I think this pertains to everything they do. They legitimately think that what they're doing right now, all the bad stuff that you think is bad in the Chinese government, they think is good. And they actually think that you think it's good too.
Yeah, exactly.
They really do.
They do.
When over 90% of the audience here, which is just a random sample size,
Sure.
thinks it's bad.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's horrific. And it's not AI, so stop saying
Yes,
AI,
I'm
you
saying-
dumbasses. Learn what AI actually means.
Yes.
Okay? They've got artificial intelligence. You know, in other words, they don't have intelligence.
People saying AI is that when it's not AI is they have artificial intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. They have artificial. It's like
if you say that you have artificial intelligence.
It's like somebody with an IQ of 3, and
Yeah.
they say that they have 120 IQ, but that's artificial. It's fake.
Yes.
It's not real.
It's not real.
No.
Moving on.
Yes. Let's move on. What do we
No
got?
cash, no coins,
don't need to hear that
no
anymore.
ID card, even no cell phone, no barcodes.
Still
just
listening
with
to it.
myself.
I know.
It scans my face and recognizes
Still
me
listening to this.
I
and
know.
give me the water I chose.
The
Give
water
me
she chose.
the
How many different waters do you think she
Well,
chose
you got
from?
Seibon, you got
Nongfu?
Nongfu. What's that one that's in that like cylindrical bottle that has
Oh,
like
yes.
a race car looking? You know, like that font. I don't know. it
That's
reminds me-
Seibon, isn't it?
No,
It's
no,
got
no,
the.
no. That's a green one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know that
Oh
one?
yeah, yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's that
isn't it
one.
Nestle?
No, I'm not.
But
talking
I
about
know
that
exactly which one you're talking
It
about.
starts with a G, like
Is it G?
goats or something.
Goats.
that I want to eat. just in a few seconds.
I gotta remember.
They were so convenient.
So convenient.
Goats. It's not goats.
No, you'll.
Oh, look,
it is. There it is.
look.
Oh yeah, it's what is it? Gantin.
Gantin or whatever.
Gantin?
I
Yeah.
never knew what it said.
Yes, but
I could only read the Chinese.
I remembered exactly what that was. Anyway, here we just want to show you a random street that exploded because of e-bike
I
batteries.
took the bad parts out of that one.
Okay, good. And the reason we're showing this is this happened.
Watson's, how do we not think of
Yeah, Watson's, of course.
Go ahead.
The reason we're showing you this is you would think that when a street explodes, you'd hear about it in the news. But you just don't. And this happens in China all the frickin' time. Right? Just horrific. An entire areas just look at that. Destruction. Oh yeah.
They did this to me, guys. I promised you that I would show you my cream expedition.
Yes.
My expedition into cream.
Yeah.
It was way worse than I thought it was going to be, but I did it.
Yes.
And I thought you guys would want to check it out. It's over on Low 86 right now.
Yeah, please go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for my millions. The reason
Yeah.
I did it is for 1 million subscribers.
Not just randomly. Yeah.
That would be weird.
Cool. All right. So now I guess you probably noticed today that we're not really sticking to our usual worldview and
It's just a
this and that.
huge
It's
mess.
just and just like this hot pot,
Yes.
which I don't know, man.
I just have some bad memories. It's almost like something that happened that was really bad in 2020 didn't happen.
Yes. So anyway, is this the largest hot pot you've ever seen?
It certainly is.
Hundreds of diners gather to enjoy this feast.
This is gross.
It's just wasteful.
It's just gross. It's almost as wasteful as bathing in
Yeah.
a pool of cream.
Yeah.
It's actually way more wasteful.
Yeah, it is, yeah. A manufacturer of hot pot soup bases prepared a free meal to promote their products.
I think this is gross.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to eat out of a public hot pot like that. Because just imagine like all these other people randomly, dipping their stuff in there. But it's out in the open, right? You got flies laying eggs.
Yeah,
whoever
yeah,
knows
true.
whatever else is going on there. You got bits of debris falling in there, Yeah, just not great.
Instant diarrhea.
Yeah, 138 people can dip their food into the boiling soup at once.
Is it boiling? Can you tell me? I don't see any rolling boil.
You know that I'm just a little curious here. I'm just a little bit curious because you would think for sanitary purposes that they would at least use serving chopsticks.
I think they are. Look, there's 2 pairs of chopsticks.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the
Oh, it is boiling.
Yeah, take a look at this. I just see people taking the food and putting it directly into their bowl, right?
Yeah.
What's to say you don't have people just like taking?
I mean, that's the
look,
thing.
Look. This dude here is eating with the same chopsticks.
Okay, well, we don't know. There might be chopsticks down on the table. But this is my devil's advocate. That's not a devil's advocate.
Sure.
It's what is it, an angel's advocate.
Sure.
To prove you right. You can't control 138 people at once doing
No.
this. Right. There's just no way.
Look at that little kid over there is just
It's
grabbing.
not controlled, right? We don't know. Maybe they're all following the rules, but there's a big chance that someone's not. You know what I
I'm pretty
mean?
sure that this dude with the blue shirt on, the blue collar guy here, right? Those chopsticks that he's using are the long serving chopsticks. They
yes.
are.
He's doing
Look,
it right.
No.
Oh, the guy eating.
He's eating with
Oh,
long
I see.
serving
Yeah,
chopsticks.
yeah,
Look,
you're right.
those are serving chopsticks. Those are not normal.
Yeah.
So he's just like, grab some more.
Hey,
You know?
I mean, like, listen, if you're involved in this, that's on you. All right, that's on you.
I'm just saying, man, imagine eating the gob of 138 people.
That is a
Or
spit
358 or whatever it
note.
was. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Took
so-
28 days to build the container.
fantastic use of resources.
Pot was cleaned and sterilized multiple times before the broth was poured in. I hope so.
Yeah, I would hope
I
so.
freaking hope so. Bird repellers are installed on nearby buildings. Guess what?
Yeah.
Huge waste of money. There's no birds in China.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that.
And this is why there's no birds in China. You had bird repellers.
Yes,
everywhere.
exactly.
Frick.
2 tons of ingredients. Yeah, okay, cool.
Company's owner said the whole meal cost about $11,000. It's actually less than I thought.
Yeah, it's way less.
This is a lot.
It's a lot of... Look, they are using the serving
You're
chopsticks to eat, bro.
absolutely right.
And
Oh,
you know they're...
Angel's advocate.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
right.
They're absolutely going to go in for seconds. You think they're just going to eat one little bit?
No.
They only have 1 pair of chopsticks each. Everyone's eating with those long-ass chopsticks, and they're going to go grab more for sure. And dip in their meat. Maybe we'll eat... Look, Yes, yes. I just saw another guy dip his chin. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We got to read the actual concerns because people aren't stupid in China.
Yeah.
The pot is huge, but will people get bacterial infections from eating the food? Yes, they will.
They absolutely will.
Potentially.
Because you look, people are eating and then putting their gob back in there, dude.
Yeah. Spit, as we say in America.
Yeah, exactly. Spit, gob,
It's okay.
saliva.
I'm just teaching.
Saliva.
I want to teach people different stuff here.
Spittle. What else could you?
Spittle.
What else would you call it?
I'd say spit or saliva. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in South Africa we call it chob, because
You-
it's like
of
gob,
course-
but a
of
chob.
course you
Yeah,
do. Of course, you have to put
chobbing in that, you know.
shit guttural accent and
Exactly,
everything.
chobbing that thing, man.
The pot is huge, but will people get back
Yeah,
to
we
I
read
just
that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was another. Is it okay? It's okay to eat hot pot with friends, but having a meal with so many strangers, I think it's very unhygienic. And guess what? You're right. You're
Yeah.
next on the right answer.
And that's absolutely right, because people are just chobbing in that thing, dude. It's like a big communal spittoon.
It's better than shill broth, but by quite a bit.
Yeah,
By quite a bit.
yeah, because at least it's cooked, right? So at least
Still
it's
broth.
boiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. There's other people's phlegm floating around in there, you know?
It's not nice.
No. And I mean, like, you got waves of people coming, right? So you get the previous generation's spit.
The good news is you don't have to participate in this.
Well, I
You
mean,
don't have to.
I see they're all wearing the sponsored T-shirts, so they probably have to.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I think they wanted to participate.
Yeah, because it's free food, right?
And then also you get to be on TV or whatever.
Yeah, sure,
You get to be on our show.
Yeah, that's true.
I just wanted to.
Yeah,
maybe
remember
this.
this.
Is like a little bit too long ago, so you guys started to forget.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have a huge pandemic that claimed millions of lives.
Yes.
Around the world.
Yeah,
And I
that-
don't think people
that came
forgot
from
about
Wuhan.
it.
You might have heard of it.
And it had maybe something to do with this massive banquet, the public banquet they had in.
As it was
in
breaking out?
Wuhan.
Yeah.
In a neighborhood of Wuhan.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you guys remember that, but Baibuting neighborhood had thousands of people eating from communal dishes, and Chinese people were saying, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah, the height of an outbreak.
There's something happening here.
It's just the arrogance. They were trying to say,
Yeah.
look, nothing to worry about here. We'll even do things like this.
I mean, well, they do it every year anyway.
Yeah, but
it
they
was
were like-
to continue it
Yeah.
is pretty crazy. And then the government cracked down, and they're like, "How dare you have done that?"
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
like, "Well, what the heck?"
So-
anyway, I just wanted to remind people.
And I also want to remind people that gutter oil is not going away in China.
Right.
Again, this is new footage from the previous week. I like to try and show new footage of gutter oil because
Sure.
people think it's an old problem that's no longer an issue in
Yeah,
China.
there are people claiming it's gone.
Yeah, that's been gone for
No, it's
20
not
years or
gone.
gone for like many years, decades. It's not true. It's very much alive and well and thriving in China. So this again is another new clip, but I've got an even better one over here. Take a look at what's happening in the background of this restaurant. Spit oil is being collected. You see that with the ladle? Now, spit oil, just like you saw that hot pot, the big hot pot has that like red chili
Yes.
oil floating on the top.
Yes.
That is probably the most recycled thing because it's so easy to recycle. All restaurants probably do it in China that serve hot pot because the oil floats to the top, right? And so when the customer's finished eating their broth, they take it back and they just scoop the oil off. It's very easy with just a little ladle. And then
It's untrue that all restaurants do this though, because there are restaurants. Their whole gimmick is to show them pouring fresh oil into
Yes,
it.
yes. I'm
Because
just saying-
because of how prevalent
Yeah,
this is, though.
exactly.
So you're right. Angel's
Yeah.
advocate.
So take a look. The person's busy ladling it out of the trash can in the background to reserve it. And at the same time, the customer who's filming this is like, okay.
They're like, wait a
They're like,
minute.
what's going on here?
They're like, wait. a
They're
minute.
like,
This is just so prevalent that the person filming it's like,
They're like, that's what I'm
this."
eating
And
right
this
now.
goes to show you. I think a lot of people think, oh, they must. They're crazy if they put up with this. No one wants this.
No.
They're appalled by it. Why
Yeah.
do you think this whole food scandal happened? The worst food scandal has happened in decades in China with this oil thing.
Yes, yes.
Why do you think this is causing such riots and like upheaval,
Yeah,
societal
exactly.
upheaval? Because people are pissed, dude.
Imagine you're sitting eating your chili noodle thing over here and you see in the background the person taking the actual
Yeah.
chili oil out of the trash can
Yeah.
in the restaurant where you're eating this. Now you know that what you're eating is reused
It's insane.
because they don't clean it or anything.
No.
They just strain it so there aren't bits. In fact, it doesn't even matter because look at this dude's dish. You wouldn't even know if those little bits and
Why would
pieces
you know?
came from someone else's bowl.
You don't know.
Remember
Eat at your own risk.
Remember we ate that most disgusting root? Whatever the hell that thing is.
Yes.
There is a dish that we ate in China. It was on conquering southern China, actually.
I'll find the
in
name.
Guizhou. And we went to this place where we ate the cow shit hot pot. And you would think that the cow shit hot pot was the worst thing, but no, it was this root vegetable. And remember the Baijiu place, they tried to give it to us as well, you know?
Yes.
Remember that?
I'm just trying to find the name of
So
it.
it kind of looks like a sprout or something, like really big. It's like kind of white and thick. It is probably one of the worst things that we've ever tasted.
Not probably.
Okay, it probably is the worst.
It's so
bad.
bad. I need to find it. We always forget the freaking name.
Yeah, we'll find it and we'll tell you. But anyway, the reason I'm telling you this is we went in that evening to film the cow shit hot pot.
Yes.
And they gave us this dish as part of our meal. And we all tried like a little bit of it. And we were like, no.
Yes.
And, you know, we tried our best, right? But then we put like half-eaten bits back on the dish.
Yes, because it was so
It was so bad. So we all like
bad.
ate like half and put it back on the dish. So then they took it away and they put it in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not even in the kitchen, on top of like a freezer in the kitchen. Yeah. Remember that?
Not in it.
Yeah, no, just on top of it, right? Like, and the next day we went in to film the making of the cow shit hot pot in the same kitchen. And there it was sitting with flies on it. Remember? There were flies all over it. And then we saw them serve it to another customer.
Yep. And we were like,
I'm like,
man.
it's like,
You know, it wasn't shocking at all. Like, we know that happens all the time in China.
but like our used spit things, which had flies over it the entire night.
Because if you hadn't gone back to, if we don't go back to film something, how would you know?
We wouldn't know.
You as a patron of a customer or of a restaurant, you're not going to go back immediately the next morning and see what happened to my dish.
No,
you know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't know. So some poor customer ate our spit fly egg version of whatever that horrible thing is.
That was. So why do we never freaking remember the name of that root?
We're gonna find out again.
We have told you so many times.
Yeah, but we got to find out. And if any of you have ever tried it, you'll know.
It's the worst food in the world.
Yes. Anyway, let's move on from the gutter oil, spit oil scenario over here. Yes. We have this VIP show every Monday. This is so much fun. It's
one of the best.
Yeah, let's take a look. What, is that just killing them?
He literally
he actually shoots them and you see blood. Riding them over. It's like, that's just so dumb. Wow, that's pretty bad. Oh boy.
Train me to defeat him.
Like, you think you have the wearing? Like a vest?
Pretty gullible, aren't you?
What the? That was one of the
super
best
fun
episodes we've done at Xiaobanhou. It's on patreon.com/ADV podcast.
Yep.
We have a show. We've had hundreds of episodes, over 100 episodes now. You can go, if you subscribe to the Xiaobanhou tier, you can get access to all of them. We've done a lot of funny episodes, but this was absolutely hilarious. You're going to want to check this one out. It's all about China's cartoons.
Yeah,
We're going to
really
do multiple parts because there's so many.
Yep.
But we could not believe at the unbelievable high quality of
Yes,
these
it was
cartoons.
so good. So please check it out if you have the means. Head on over to patreon.com/ADV podcast and please join the Xiaobanhou tier and gain access to all of our previous episodes. It was super fun.
It was so funny.
It was so funny.
We were dying. I was not breathing half the time.
Yeah. Anyway, time to move on.
Yes.
So what do we got next?
Worldview.
Okay. Well, maybe I can actually put that up. Worldview, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China.
So today we're talking about foreign direct investment. The reason.
That sounds like a stupid thing that the Chinese government would make up.
No, but
High
it's
quality
actually not.
productive forces.
Yeah, I know.
Foreign direct investment.
But it's not.
It's
just-
real. It's
yeah,
real.
it's
I got all that propaganda in my mind.
I know. And you know, it sounds like that to me now too.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was, if you look at this graph, it's very simple to understand. You look at 1990 and then you look at now, right? Foreign countries invested a lot of money into China, and that's what fueled China's growth. If you compared this to China's economic growth chart, I should have done that.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same.
It's the same.
It's like a mirror image. Why is that? Well, it turns out when a bunch of rich countries want all their stuff made and to invest in your country, it makes the economy better. Very simple logic.
Because money's pouring in.
Yes. Now the problem is when you have a government that gets too proud for their own boots, and they or for their own britches.
Yes.
They say, well, we don't need this anymore because we'd rather have full control over our people. So we don't want them liking the foreign countries. We need like a boogeyman.
You know, also what honestly happened here is China just got too arrogant and didn't
That's what I'm
realize where the money came from.
Correct.
I think genuinely, the Chinese Communist Party, especially Xi Jinping, thinks that China got wealthy and strong all by itself,
right,
without any help from the outside world.
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say. You have a situation where China accepted foreign investment and they promoted it. And they promoted it in society. Let's welcome, let's be friends with other countries. That's why we were there in China's golden period. We were so happy there. It was a wonderful place to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fun. But then all of a sudden they go, wait, well, people aren't supposed to like other countries anymore because they need to worship our leadership. And if we lose control over the people and they make their own money and everything's because of their own hands, they're not going to need our full dictatorship anymore. Right?
Correct, yeah.
So they have to go, wait a minute, actually foreign countries are bad. Foreigners are bad. We need to amp up the xenophobia, ramp up the nationalism, and make sure that people aren't too excited about freedom in other countries, right?
Yeah.
So you can see what happens. China cracks down on spies.
Yes.
They crack down on foreign companies in China because they're compromising national security, all these crazy reasons.
Yeah.
You get people riled up, they start attacking foreigners in the street. All these kind of things happen, right? The rhetoric, the feeling in China starts to get bad, and we notice this.
Yeah.
And you watch, look at the graph here. The foreign direct investment in China right now is like the lowest it's been in 30 years.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to invest in China. I mean, it's 80 to 90% is gone.
You might wonder why there's such a big spike there in 2020-ish, thereabout, 2021, thereabout. That's because of all the false propaganda coming out of China that they had COVID under control.
Yep.
So during that time when they absolutely didn't have COVID under control, the rest of the world was duped into thinking, oh, look, China only had like 4,000 deaths from
China's
COVID.
open for business.
And we're all dying over here while they've got it sorted out. It was all a lie, obviously, but a lot of people bought into it and invested.
That was bad long term, though, because as much money as they got at that time from that duping of the world, it wasn't long term.
No.
Like this ended up being a net negative for them because people saw the chaos that zero COVID that China did, all those policies that they did. They saw the chaos that ensued from that. And they pulled out. Look at now. No one wants to invest in China anymore. And they're super desperate to attract investment right now.
Speaking of, I don't know, desperate situations, what's going on here?
So Iraq, a country on the mend basically since the whole war
Saddam
happened,
Hussein
and their current problems with other rebel groups and things like this. But a recovering country. In fact, we have a very near and dear friend to us that spends a lot of time there. And he is on the ground talking to Iraqi people very often. And it's interesting to hear the sentiment. It's gotten quite negative about China and about China's influence in their country. And a lot of Iraqis are waking up so much to the point where the government has decided to suspend bank transactions in Chinese yuan. Now, this goes against this whole narrative that developing countries or the global south is going to be part of BRICS, right? It's going to stop using the dollar to trade and it's going to start using the yuan, the RMB to trade. And so China will now have this new global order, right? Now, a lot of countries buy into this hoax, right?
Yeah.
But some countries don't, and we're seeing countries like Iraq suspending that. So they're not going to be using the yuan going forward.
Yeah. That's true. All right, what's going on with the Office of Public Affairs of the U.S. Department of Justice?
We're running along, so we won't go too far into this.
Okay.
But basically, there is a Chinese agent, so a secret agent.
Somebody working with China's MMS or whatever. MMS,
Isn't that bleach stuff?
I think so. MSS. What is it?
MS. That's
MSS, MMS. I always get confused between the two.
MMS.
Multimedia systems.
So the Florida Telecommunications and
Ministry of State Security.
Yes.
So the
correct.
Chinese CIA, basically.
I think that's who this guy's working with.
He was.
Two articles.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's a link down below. It's the justice.gov thing.
It's interesting that they've been catching quite a few lately. Like, honestly, this is pretty bad because the guy was working for...
That's what I was going to say. He was working with like a Florida telecommunications company, but he was an agent for China.
Yeah,
so he's working in America's telecommunications
Was he working for Verizon?
it was...
I think he might have. He was working for one of the big wireless carriers in America. Let's find out because I'd like people to know. Because if you are working for a big mobile company, you have potential access to all of the people that subscribe to that service, which is bad.
I'm just reading through it real quick.
Yeah, I'll find out.
So he was apparently trying to get information on people in Falun Gong, which is that religious organization or whatever. And so they were trying to get him to get information about people in America. right?
Yes.
It doesn't say what company, so we
It
can't
did,
say
it
what
did
company.
definitely in the
Well,
thing.
I can't say from this.
Let's find out. I want people to know, just because I think it's important to realize the scope of this. So it should say in there somewhere.
I'm just reading through. I don't see it. I don't want to say anything that's not true necessarily.
Yeah, let's see.
Dato Arze
yeah.
Shauto Baba.
We'll get there. Mm-hmm.
I will
He
read
worked for a
super
major U.S.
Yeah, that's what it
telecommunications
says.
company. But that's...
We'll
like-
figure it out later.
Anyway,
We can't
it is,
dwell.
No, it's true. We can't dwell. But I don't know why I was able to read about it earlier. Now it just seems to be escaping.
Yeah, well, let's not say it's something it's not. We'll find out. We'll let you know.
Yeah. Anyway, a big one of those big things, and he worked for them for years, and so he had access potentially to a lot of information about the clients, and so that's why he was so useful.
Yes.
To the Chinese CIA.
Yeah.
Basically.
I gifted some memberships. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was supposed to say that while we were dwelling, but I said it after the dwell. I want to show a map.
Yeah, sure.
This is an interactive map.
Okay.
Do you know what this? Okay, hold on. This is defeating the entire purpose.
Okay.
Because we're blocking it.
Oh, I'll get out of it.
But no, making me big first.
Okay, I'll make you very big.
Us. You
There you
can't
go.
make me big and you small, right?
Yeah,
That'd
unless
be
I
an
like
interesting parlor
crouch.
trick.
I'll crouch down.
So this is interesting because this is something. No, it's okay. You can come back up.
Okay,
I'll zoom in.
Yeah,
I'll zoom in.
Enhance.
We're on a schedule.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Let's do it. Yeah, on schedule here.
People have, for the past 2 or 3 episodes, have been asking incessantly, and I don't mean that in a negative way, because I'm very interested in this too, but we just haven't had time to cover it. We're finally going to cover it. About why Chinese PLA troops were in Europe, in Belarus in particular. And I thought, before we go into any speculation about, because this is wild to have Chinese troops all the way in Europe, right, on NATO's doorstep.
Sure.
Like a mile from Poland's border in the EU.
Yeah.
That's pretty unprecedented, right?
Sure.
What if I told you it's not?
Okay.
Because I can answer your question very quickly with this map.
Let's take a look. Should we get out of it?
This is a freedom index of countries around the world.
So China's 9 out of 100.
As are the famous Tibet 0, by the way.
Okay.
Of course, you can think about that. Russia's 13, Kazakhstan's 23, Uzbekistan 11, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to Europe.
Portugal's 96.
See? We got some free countries
Pretty
over here.
good. Pretty good.
Spain 90, France 89, right? United Kingdom 91,
Sweet.
Germany, Ireland 97, Poland's 80, Norway's 98.
That's pretty good.
Sweden,
Ooh.
Finland's 100, right?
Finland's 100?
Finland is the peak country of the world, by the way. Happiness and for political freedom and education.
How's that possible? It's cold there all the time.
Doesn't matter. They figured it out. They've just figured. You know what they do? They do eat. The average person in Finland drinks like 2 pots of coffee a day. Probably has something to do with it.
Maybe.
They're just
They're like, I'm
jazzed
happy.
up. They're like-
Yeah.
Like when they stop, it's crippling
Blizzard? Who
depression,
cares? Yeah.
and there's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah.
But when they have coffee, it's fine.
Gotcha.
Cut off Finland's coffee supply, you watch that number drop.
Yep.
Anyway,
I always picture Europeans sitting around in like turtleneck sweaters and, like.
I picture Swedes doing that.
Yeah,
for
very
sure.
possible, yeah.
Shout out to Sweden. Shout out to Finland. Probably my favorite country in the world. Love Finland. Anyway, moving down to Belarus, I want you to notice something.
You don't like their candy, though.
Well, I don't like salmiakki, which we'll cover in Xiaobanho.
Yeah, we should.
I want you to notice something. You've just seen all these free countries in Europe.
Yes.
So let's also go to another country called Belarus.
Okay.
Which is also just right below there.
Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, 89. Wow.
So
it's even worse than China. China's 9.
I'll show you in a second. Yeah, actually put them next to each other.
Okay.
I've just answered your question. Why are there PLA troops in Europe? Well, that's because Belarus is one of the least free countries in the entire world. It's bottom 5.
Basically a blood brother with China.
It's
right
a
there.
blood brother. It's It's a dictatorship that offers its citizens no freedom, right?
Yes.
So of course, when you have top-down leaders that make all the decisions, they don't have to ask for anyone's approval. They'll be like, hell yeah, give me some of that Chinese money.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Exactly.
Especially when they're allied to Russia, who's currently allied with China. Does this not make sense?
Of course it makes sense.
These two countries are absolute dictatorships.
Yes.
And that's not a way to big it up. It's called an absolute dictatorship.
Yes.
Like the dictator makes all the choices, right?
I like how the political rights are -2.
Well, because it just means they've gone down.
Oh, they've gone down.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like on a scale of 1
People
to 10
always say
minus
that, and
2.
I'm like, no, it's down from prior.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, 2.
So Belarus actually is 1 point lower than China. It's a proper dictatorship
Yeah.
a la North Korea.
Okay.
Right? It's the worst.
Okay, so they've been doing this thing together?
So actually, I just always use my reference point here, just so in case people are like, where's America? 83.
Yeah, which is not the best. We saw Finland as 100%.
Exactly.
And all those other countries are like 89.
Quite a bit of a bigger, more diverse country than Finland.
Yes.
But, it is what it is. We're working on it.
Sure.
We'll figure it out.
Eventually.
83 is not 8 or 9.
Yeah, so this is footage of this like joint thing they were doing?
Yeah, so I saw a lot of coverage of this, and I thought it was great. I've actually linked 2 videos down below from Task and Purpose and Ryan Macbeth that covered this situation very well. One thing I did notice in all the videos, they didn't have any footage of the actual drills from Chinese cell phones. And there was a lot of Chinese people that were there taking cell phone footage of the drill, of the celebration. So I wanted to show this. I scoured the Chinese internet for this.
Okay, let's see what we found. We'll get us out of here.
We don't have to like this. Anyway, this is the streets of Belarus, an absolute dictatorship, with Chinese PLA troops marching along, having a grand old time. Not something out of the ordinary, because there was a lot of hype about this. Do you know what people were saying? Oh, this is unprecedented, like I said in the beginning. It's not. They did this in 2015.
I love this. What is this?
Oh, this is China training Belarus on grenade throwing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to see that again?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Definitely. That I recognize that clip because that is actually from the PLA training. That is PLA training.
Yes. I just want to, so we can see what kind of things they could offer.
Yeah, so this is what China's going to teach Belarus and Belarusian troops.
Belarusians,
Yeah.
Oh, ooh. This is it's called a Butterfingers drill. When you had a little too much greasy hot pot before you threw the grenade.
Yeah, that was a good instructor, by the way.
This is
soggy commies traipse through wet roads in an unimpressive show.
This is some of the headlines from the...
Can I just say, why do communist countries always look gray?
Here's the deal. Like Belarus doesn't have pollution. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, of course, but obviously not today. China came and brought its weather with it.
They did. I feel like China showed up, CCP showed up, and they're like, well, let's have some miserable...
We need to make sure they feel at home.
Yes.
So let's just put smoke in the air.
They like popped industry up.
Yes.
So
I like that soggy commies. That's excellent.
That's just the headline, right?
Yeah.
Some women soldiers.
I'm deeply unimpressed and wet, a disappointed onlooker said.
Yes, these are some quotes from the Chinese onlookers that went to go see this in Belarus.
Yes.
I just wanted to get some of those quotes out of the way.
Who is Bella? Chinese visitor.
This is Belarus, right? Yeah. A lot of people in China that I met didn't know Belarus wasn't in Russia because, it was in the Soviet Union.
Sure.
Belarus, fun fact, kind of the last bastion of the Soviet Union, more Soviet than Russia. So when Soviet Union fell apart, all these countries became their own thing. Belarus is like, no, we're going to stay Soviet. We're going to do that. And China was like, hell yeah, we're going to be brothers. So they've been doing this for a while now. They did this in 2015. This isn't the first time.
Sure.
This is what dictatorships do.
They also like Windows XP backgrounds on their freaking signs up there. Look at those clouds.
They also like carnival lights around it. I love the carnival. Does that not look like a carnival? Like
it does.
You're going to go like roll a ball at a pin and you're going to miss every time because it's cheating.
Yeah.
Kind of like these countries.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, soggy commies getting together is nothing new. It's nothing to be super alarmed about.
Yeah.
This is not something you wouldn't see, right? This is something that has been going on for a long time now.
Yeah.
This is what these countries do to bolster national support for each other. They take each other's money. They have cooperation with each other.
National pride, all that kind of nonsense.
This is like an old celebration of authoritarian values. Everyone, come on down.
Let's relive the good old bad old days.
The bad old days when everyone starved in the gulags. Hopefully this partnership doesn't keep lasting. And
I love how
Belarus.
Communist countries love these hats that kind of
that big hats.
Try to make them look taller or something, right?
Yes.
You notice that North Korea's the worst, though. Have you seen North Korea's hats?
Yes.
They're literally like this tall.
They do that in Transnistria as well, which is the other last Soviet bastion near Moldova. They have those massive hats.
Yeah, it's so silly.
I love the hats.
They're trying to make their soldiers look taller.
I suppose. Are they short? I feel like Belarusians can't
No,
be
they're
that
not,
short,
but North Koreans certainly are.
Yeah, but the Chinese soldiers actually look taller than the Belarusian soldiers here.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because they only pick any soldier, any soldier that's going to be in any kind of march or dress thing in China has to reach a certain height.
Yes, you're absolutely.
They have to be a certain type of...
Because it's for propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, props to this.
This is really boring, by the way.
Display. Yeah, I just figured we'd actually show it because I kept watching these news reports about this and I didn't see the actual footage of the thing. Anyway, they've been doing some tank drills and some other stuff. It looked
Tanky drills.
Tanky drills.
Yeah.
It looked like it. But that's what's going on there, and I highly recommend those 2 YouTube videos I recommend down below.
They're linked in the
They're really
description.
good. They actually illustrate this.
Yeah, if you want to know more about the situation, go watch those.
I wanted to answer your question very succinctly and easily because no duh, basically.
And then also just show like hours of soggy commies.
Soggy, there's a bit of a vibe going on here. It's like a time capsule like 1988 Soviet Union. Doesn't it look like that, but like with modern iPhone?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a bit weird. Like you don't see this often.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
This drill sergeant looks scary as hell, by the way.
Well, he's just very tall.
He just looks mean too. He's got that.
Is it just raining on and off, or did you just like mix the footage?
No, I didn't do anything. This is just a
different
video.
Video
from someone's iPhone that I found on like Weibo or something.
Yeah.
But
nice.
yeah, Belarus, China.
Is that a Russian flag?
Brothers out of convenience said, well, who do you think is calling the shots here? It's China and Russia.
Yeah.
Belarus is a pawn in this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to keep showing this, by the way. We're happy to move on.
Can we move on?
We can move on.
Okay, all right.
It's
just only so much freaking, marching I can stand. This goes on, and in the background, I'm busy skipping through like hours.
I do love the carnival lights.
Like okay, we'll show that one thing. Okay, here we'll show your carnival lights. My favorite though is the Windows XP background.
I like that too.
Up in the top, if you look at the.
I mean, this is rare footage because you can't go here. Like it's super hard to get into Belarus. You go there if you sign up for their like visa, and then there's interview process, all that kind of stuff, right? It's hard to go there. So this is kind of interesting to see. This carnival light Windows XP.
Sure.
Soggy Kami
looks
footage.
like a pasta, like when you buy like pasta in a box.
It does.
It's like, that.
And they're definitely not known for pasta.
No, it's like, Mama's Italian pasta or something. And that one, just this one, because I can't read it, but the one up there, that literally looks like a pasta box to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It's Kami pasta.
It's Kami
there
pasta.
Is a hammer and sickle.
There's a hammer and sickle and a star over there.
It's like rustic too.
Yes,
which is like when an edgy like college kid is wearing like a Ushanka hat. It'll have that like rustic plastic Chinese communist hammer.
That's it.
Anyway, something really serious though is that Russia and China were doing military exercises right near Alaska.
Yes, right near Alaska.
That's more alarming.
Yeah,
that's more alarming.
Yeah, they're just trying to like prove a point and get back at America for doing drills near Japan and stuff, the South China Sea.
Well, actually, this is more about, we can just read it. U.S. official says the first time strategic bombers from the 2 U.S. adversaries have operated together near North America. And there is a couple reasons for this. But one thing that people are speculating, I'll just read this. Russian and Chinese planes didn't enter the U.S. or Canadian airspace and weren't seen as a military threat. They didn't cross that line, you know what I mean? They're just basically showing off a little bit.
Just wasting their fuel. Yeah.
So there's a couple theories. It's a very direct response to what's happening with America's military stuff or projections around the world with NATO.
Yeah.
Number 2, another speculation is that it has something. This is just something I read on social media, so it might not even make sense.
Okay.
But it has something to do. I can't remember. I don't even want to say something.
You're absolutely right. It doesn't make sense.
No, I don't want to say anything that's not even necessarily true.
Okay.
But it's in retaliation to America's posturing around the world.
Yeah, of course. They're just basically saying, we can do it too.
Yes. The problem is that Russia and China buddying up like that on that level is alarming. That is alarming. It's the first time that's happened. Whereas the Belarus thing wasn't the first time that happened.
Yeah, I also think like bombers, like flying bombers right next to countries a bit different. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think America's flying like bombers next to China.
Like right on the line
reconnaissance aircraft.
They're not having bombing missions, joint missions on the coast of China.
Yeah, they're not like Japan and America flying strategic bombers right next to China.
Flying bombers right around Heilongjiang on the border.
Yeah. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they do have fighter planes with the aircraft carriers and stuff doing like drills.
Are they flying outside of Heilongjiang?
No,
that's the equivalent.
Yeah, and are they flying bombers?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Think so. I don't think so.
Anyway, let's move on, guys. It's Yamcha. That's our Q&A section. That's where we answer your questions and you question our answers. It's also the time where we get to loosen the tie because guess what? It is Friday. We leave this up on the weekend. We leave this up live, but it gets removed on Mondays.